Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Tonight, when I got off of work, normally on a Monday, I would come home and start catching up on Monday Night Raw and trying to get back into the action. A lot of people get to watch Monday Night Raw 3 hours before I do, and I always try to get back into the thick of things so that way I can see what everybody else is talking about. Some nights I'm on Twitter, some nights I'm not. But as of right now, I think everybody knows that WWE has come up with a new sort of gimmick trying to get people to get the WWE Network. You know, they came out swinging right out of the bat with the 1 week free trial. A lot of people signed up. Then they tried to do a few other week trials. There were some people who, during week one, couldn't really connect, couldn't really figure out what was going on with the WWE Network. So they gave those people a bonus week to try and get on board. If you're not subscribed to the WWE Network, there's nothing easier than what is going on right now. You go over to the WWE Network, you can sign up right now, and the one thing that people didn't like about when this first came out was that you had to give them your credit card number. I don't understand why you would not want to give them your credit card number, because in my mind, if you try the WWE Network one time, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to stick with it. Just by seeing all the specials that they've done so far with the Ultimate Warrior documentary, the Ultimate Warrior special, Greatest Hits of Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 30 documentary on Daniel Bryan. We just got the Vicky Guerrero special, which wasn't that good. But, you know, and now tonight was the best thing. No, maybe not the best thing. One of the best things I've ever seen on the WWE Network. I will have to say the Ultimate Warrior documentary was great. I will have to say the Daniel Bryan documentary was great. And this is right up there with that. And when I say this, this is something that needs to be on DVD. This is the one thing as a DVD collector. I'm a DVD guy still. I want to own this. This is how good it is. I still keep all of my old DVDs, movie DVDs, even though they've been transferred over and they're on Netflix now and I can just watch them with the click of a button. I have a little piece of me that will not watch a movie on Netflix if I own it on DVD. I will walk in here, grab a DVD, and go put it in. With the WWE Network, it has been awesome. So, you know, take this little 2 minutes, go there and check this out. But tonight, they did a Monday Night Wars show. It was a one-night-only sneak peek sort of deal. And honestly, I didn't know if they were going to keep this up on the WWE Network, like I was going to be able to watch this on the in-demand, or if it just truly was one night only sneak peek. And if it was gone, it was gone. So I made sure I started watching it. I clicked on it to watch it on the live stream, even though it was a little late. They gave me the option to watch it from the beginning, so I chose that. And I did not feel bad after it. This was a very, very awesome show that they put on. I think everybody out there who's been a DVD guy at one time or another has owned Monday Night Wars. WWE Monday Night Raw going up against WCW Monday Nitro. Awesome cover there with Vince McMahon staring down Eric Bischoff. This, when it came out in 2003, was an awesome documentary. In my mind, looking back on this now, not so great. Honestly, when it comes down to it, WWE DVDs from 2002, 2003, maybe even 2004, up until maybe like when they went on a spree of releasing some really good documentaries. It was sort of when I figured out I was sort of a DVD guy. Is when, you know, I think it was the Rob Van Dam DVD came out, and then the Legion of Doom DVD came out. And I think there was one before that, because I think the Legion of Doom DVD was the one where I went to the Best Buy to buy it because it was coming out. And I was like, you know, the Road Warriors are a good team. They're not my favorite team. This isn't something that I, like, have to watch, but I really want to. This is the third release in a row that's come out. Is this what I'm doing now? I guess I buy WWE DVDs now. I guess this is the start of a collection. But the DVDs, especially documentaries from 2002, 2003 to me with WWE, to me, they didn't know really what they were doing. They didn't really know where they were going. Like, if there's a mix of we're going to stick to kayfabe and we're not going to change the story. And then there's a mix of, like, Undertaker going to his house and seeing him live a normal life with Sarah. And I know at that time he was the American Badass. He wasn't, the Undertaker, living at the graveyard all dressed in black, getting drove down to the ring and it hurts, being, pulled around by Paul Bearer in the urn and everything like that. But there is a little part of me that still likes to believe that's who Undertaker is. He sits in his house, he builds caskets, he gets ready to wrestle matches, and that's why a lot of those documentaries I don't really go back and watch all that much. But tonight they re-upped it, they redid it. They took this, they tore it all down. All besides for those Eric Bischoff interviews where they were building the Monday Night Raw set with the 2003 thing in there. And they've gone through the WCW footage, they've gone through the WWE footage, and they've put together one of the best documentaries they've ever done. I say this every time a documentary comes out. Yes, I know. I said that about the Triple H documentary, the Chris Jericho documentary. So many of them that come out, and it is just awesome. Groundbreaking stuff that you want to go back and watch over and over again. Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen, still the best one they've ever done. But I watch that one at least once a year. But the Monday Night Wars basically was started, and they just didn't start from day one, of WCW opening up and going there. They went all the way back to the creation of WWE. It was almost like watching the WWE 50 DV, where basically, they started just the regional promotion, and it started growing with Vince McMahon's idea of worldwide sort of domination. Why should we just have to book shows in this one small market when we can take over the whole United States? The whole United States can build the whole world, and we can become the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. That's what their name is. They might as well live up to the hype that is there. And one thing led to another, where they started taking over sort of markets and syndication. But the big boy, Ted Turner, had started his own sort of global domination on cable television with TBS, TNT, with CNN and his movie networks and everything like that. He held one of the flagship shows because cable television was basically built all over the United States. Everybody was getting cable, and Ted Turner was making it where his channel was becoming the superstation, TBS, because the way they were signing deals, they were looping in TBS with CNN, and everybody had to have CNN. So basically, now you have this channel, and it's everywhere, and you make them have it because they can't buy CNN without buying TBS. Now you have a network that is in everybody's home, with everybody has a chance to watch it because they have a channel clicker and they have 100 channels. There's a chance they might end up on it. One of those shows that was on there was World Championship Wrestling, much before it was a actual name of a company. It was the actual just name of a TV, where different people would send in tapes, and different companies would send in tapes, and they would be up there, and they would sort of feature in the NWA guys that were going around, so that we would build the house shows that NWA was running in different markets, and you would know who everybody was when they came to your town. They'd be a star, and you wanted to see them. One thing led to another, and Vince McMahon ended up being on TBS. He held the show for a little while, and I've heard this story told a couple different times. It's known as Black Sunday, I think is what it was. One thing led to another. The way that they tell the story in here is that Ted Turner went to Vince McMahon and said that he wasn't let him keep the time slot anymore, and he was going to remove him from the network if he did not leave USA. He chose not to leave USA because he said he thought that was a better market for them to be on that network. So he was forced to sell his show to Crockett. Crockett, being from the sort of Ric Flair country, the Carolinas over there. With him selling out, that is what money he used to go and build WrestleMania. Of course, getting Madison Square Garden, getting Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper. You got the Rockettes, and you got the all the stars that were there, and obviously I'm forgetting a few right now, but everybody that was there. That's the money that he put down in order to build WrestleMania. Of course, everybody knows that he put the money down on his house and everything like that, and because of that, they built from WrestleMania. They went to WrestleMania 3. With WrestleMania 3, they built more syndication shows with WWE Superstars, Wrestling Challenge, All-American Wrestling. That led to them getting their own primetime show on USA called Primetime Wrestling wrestling, which worked for a good deal of time before it sort of the era changed around 1990, where just wrestling took a downhill turn when fans weren't really responding to the likes of Hulk Hogan anymore because he had been around and he'd been pushed so hard that, they showed the gobbledygooker up there where they sort of were saying that Vince was losing his sort of touch with wrestling, where they open the egg and everybody boos the shit out of what's going on inside of the ring. And you go back and you watch Survivor Series 1990. I remember watching it this year before the Survivor Series in order to do a review. You got Piper, I think Vince is out there on commentary, and you see the fans booing, and they're still hyping it up that everybody loves it. But that led to basically when they get to, I think it was 93, when they start Monday Night Raw, where they're going to be live from New York, and they're going to tape it, and they're going to show it uncooked, unedited, and live, or something like that. They're building on the word Raw, and they go from there to where basically they're showing off the new era of WWE with the youth movement, where they're pushing Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Lex Luger. And through that, they're trying to build their show. Around this time, Eric Bischoff takes over for WCW. Eric Bischoff is asked to turn around the company from the likes of, them losing money year after year. He gets the job. Within 16 months, he's able to turn the first profit in the history of WCW under Ted Turner, bringing in the likes of Hulk Hogan, who they really show as like the main figure piece in order to get there. They never even mention Sting until they talk about having to sign Luger and steal him away. I couldn't really surprise. They showed one picture of him, but they never mentioned it by name. They also mentioned, Lex, not Lex, I apologize. I said Lex, Macho Man Randy Savage leaving the announce desk because Vince McMahon had tried to park him behind the desk doing color commentary, saying that basically, with the youth movement of WWF, Macho Man really didn't fit in, and Macho Man was getting bored. He split and he went over there with Hogan, and they really started, moving the ball for WCW. A lot of eyes weren't really on them until the likes of Eric Bischoff telling Ted Turner that he needed to be prime time on Monday night. With that came the start of WCW Monday Nitro, with Lex Luger coming over as the surprise man to join. It just happened that his contract happened to end up at the right spot. I think a lot of you already know the story from either having the Monday Night Wars documentary. That's a much better announcer. I believe it's the same announcer that did the WWE 50 DVD. A lot more better clips. You get to see Ted Turner doing, I think it's some sort of a stock reading. The film is sort of gritty. It jumps a little bit. He's just sort of filmed sitting in some room. I'm really surprised that Turner hasn't done a sit-down interview for WWE television or the WWE network for them to splice into 1,000 different documentaries about 1,000 different things. I know that they say Vince and Ted don't really get along. Maybe Ted sort of takes it hard that he lost the war. I know that Vince had, stuck the olive branch out for Ted Turner to sort of be at WrestleMania 17. And that never really ever went anywhere. I truly believe that Ted Turner is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame someday. I think that it might not even be the celebrity wing. I think that more than likely he'll get in just for keeping wrestling alive on TBS and having, I think 30-year long reputation of putting wrestling on cable television for everybody to watch. There's a lot of people that are in the Hall of Fame that you could say shouldn't be, but I think Turner, even though he bought it with his money, I think he deserves and gets it in there. This is the thing, if it is in the on-demand section, you need to go watch it right now. It's one of the best things they've ever done and ever put up. It's one of these things that I'm a bitch and complain about. It's not on DVD to get, but honest to goodness, I think that 99% of the stuff that they said in this documentary is true. The only thing they sort of curved around that is a different story that I've heard in the past is the WWF Black Sunday, with dealing with them having to sell the rights to the time slot on TBS for World Championship Wrestling. The way I had heard it was that Vince was sending pre-tape shows or pre-tape matches from different shows and sort of just repackaging them to give like a 1-hour sort of commercial to be on TBS to watch them on the other network pretty much. And Ted Turner had thought that basically they were going to come down to Atlanta, use their sort of setup in order to film matches, and sort of bring WWF to Atlanta, and that didn't work out. And then that's when they said, Vince, you got to sell. He sold to the Crockett's. The money went towards WrestleMania, and that mostly is true. So that's what I see. But go watch this. It's one of the best things they've ever done on the WWE Network. Peace out.